what effect you would expect this to have on the shape of the graph after 4 years. So you can see the graph, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 years. You can see it is a straight line for the first 4 years. But what do you think is going to happen after these 4 years? And you have got to work out the answer to this for 2 marks. Now, the key facts for this question are that you have been given 2 marks, which means you have got to give 2 reasons. So the question was worth 2 marks, so you have to write down 2 things might happen after the 4th year. So we know what happens for the first 4 years, it increases in a straight line. But what is going to happen after this point here? What will happen to the shape of the graph? Press pause, think about your answer, and then press play when you're ready to hear your answer. So well done, guys. Hopefully you've realised that by looking at this number of fish, the maximum number of fish is 2,000. Now up for the first 4 years, we've just kept increasing in a straight line. So initially, the graph will just continue to increase until we get to 2,000 fish. So you will get 1 mark for saying that you're still going to keep increasing. So you can see here the shape of the graph is just keeping going up and up and up for the first 4 years, and then after these first 4 years, it's going to continue to keep going up and up and up. But when we get to this value here, 2,000, we need to think about what's going to happen, because we can only have a maximum of 2,000, which means the graph, when it gets to this point here, when we get to 2,000, it won't keep going up because we can only have a maximum of 2,000. So at this point here, when I've got to 2,000, the graph will become horizontal. So it's going to come across a horizontal line like this, or it's going to flatten out at 2,000, as there can be no more fish in the lake at this point. So we're told there's a maximum of 2,000. So your second mark comes from stating that the graph will now become horizontal. So it'll continue up in a straight line until we get to the point 2,000, and then when we reach 2,000, we're going to go across. The mark scheme on this question shows there are 2 marks. Remember to tick your answers and show where your marks were awarded. So 1 mark for your first reason, 1 mark for your second reason. You were told there is an appendix in the mark scheme, which is a big section right at the end of the mark scheme, which gives the reason, judgment and mark for what is allowed and what isn't allowed. So down here you can see the ones which gives you a mark and the zeros that don't give you a mark. So if you wrote down that the fish will fall as the fish will die, then that will give you 0. If you say that it increases to start with and continues up to the maximum, then you'll get 1 mark out for the part of increasing. But if it goes past the maximum, then you wouldn't get a mark. So you've got to look through all the reasons here, see if your reason was allowed or it wasn't allowed. Remember, mark your answers and tick where you were awarded the marks. If you found this video useful, please share, like and subscribe so we can all get great at math.